everyone, Amanda here. So I'm having to hold the iPad to film the beginning of this video. The second part will be more sturdy using the video camera, but the project ends up quite large, so I would never get it in shot with the video cam. So what we've got here is a beautiful desk tidy magazine rack style. So obviously I don't do things by half, so we've got 3. And we've made them nice and sturdy so that they fit on your desk. I've added feet to mine, but you don't have to. I've added the little labels there, but again, you can just cut cardstock and do your own or use stickers. But it's a lovely size. The centre section and the right hand section, as you're looking at it, those are UK standard cards. So it's quite large. It's 4.5 by 7. Is the internal each section. 4.5 deep, 7 high, 2.5 inch wide for each section, so it holds quite a lot. In the first section there to the left, I've got some items that I've made for journaling. So I've got a journal insert in there, I've got my tags, there's all sorts you could use this for, and how pretty is it? And all you need is some cardstock and follow the tutorial and I'll show you how to make it. Don't look at my mess. Oh my goodness me, my desk's a hot mess. Right, so let's get comfy and let's get creative. Okay, so you're going to need, for each section, you're going to need a one piece measuring 11.5 by 7 and one piece measuring 3.5 by 8. So you'll need one of these for each section. So these pieces you'll need times 3, okay? So let's start with the longest piece. So on the long side, you need to score it at, let me look at my measurements, 4.5 inches and 7 inches. Okay, then you want to turn it on its side like so. Alright, and what you want to do is you want to make a mark, no, sorry, go back, 4.5 and 7, and then come in 1 inch from each side of the score line. So where you've got the 4.5, come into 3.5 and make a mark. And where you're at 7, go out to 8 and just make a mark, okay? Then you want to turn it on the short side, and going from the left side upwards, you want to make a mark at 2.5. Okay, now this is where you need to pay attention so that you get the next one in the right place. Turn it all the way around so that those little 1 inch marks that you made are on your left. And with those on your left, you want to come from the bottom up 2.5 inches. So this measures 7, so we're going to backwards 2.5 inches, so that's 4.5. 1, 2, yep, 4.5. Okay, so then essentially all of the markings and scorings are on the same side. You've got a one there, you've got your 2 markings there, and then your 2 markings at either side. Okay, now where these markings are, I'm going to just mark mine with pen because I'm not, this is just a sample, okay, so that you can see it better. Okay, so then what we're going to do is where we've made the mark at the top and at the side, we're going to do a cut joining them together. Okay, so if you don't have a trimmer, join them with a pencil and ruler and cut them with your scissors. If you've got a trimmer, put it in your trimmer, okay, and even if this bit like sticks up against there, just lift it up, it's fine. And what you want to do, and the easiest way to do it, is find the bottom mark, line that up in the centre of the cutting track, put your finger on it to hold it steady, and then you can swivel, okay, swivel your card, and swivel the top one to the middle of the cutting track as well. Okay, then remove your finger and make sure it's not moved. If it has, just move it slightly and then trim. Okay, alright, I'm just a tiny bit off there. I'm just going to go back in and just trim a little bit more off. Alright, I'll just get that residue out of my track. Then go and do the same to the other side. Now you're going to have one slant going that way and one slant going that way, so bear that in mind when you're cutting. I mean, you're joining them up, that you can't really go wrong, and because you're just joining them two marks up. Okay. Take your time and try and get it as perfect as you can. Alright, so then you've got that. Okay, set that to one side a minute, and we're going to bring the scoreboard back for our smaller piece. So on the short side, which is the 3.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 3 inches. Then turn it on the long side, okay, and you're going to score here at 1/2 inch, 5 inches and 7.5. If you've missed any of those, pause the video, rewind, write them down. Okay? Right. So we're going to deal with this section. I'm going to show you also how to cut your paper to accommodate the slant, so don't worry. Okay? There'll be no complicatedness with this one. I know some people struggled with the larger one, the tiered box that we did, doing the sides. This one's super easy. I've kept it simple. There's nothing complicated. I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're folding and burnishing all of these score lines. Start with your longer ones first. It just makes your life easier. And then burnish these. And then you've got the final one here. Now at this stage you'll see from the shape you've got a smaller box here. This is going to be your front. Okay, so turn it towards you to remind yourself. And what you want to do here is you want to cut across where the score lines meet. Cut across there. Straight across the score line. Across the middle. Okay. And then if you just fold that in half, and if you go from the score line outwards, like that, and notch that one, and I have to turn it that way, where I'm cutting towards the score line. Yeah, then that does them two. Or you can do them one at a time, it's up to you. And then turn it around, and here on this one, you're cutting straight across the score line again. Okay. Alright, right, so let's turn it back around with the small box facing us, because this is going to be the front. This 1/2 inch tab here is just for strengthening, it's not attaching to anything. I've just done that because your traffic going in and out of the organiser, that's where you're going to get a lot of wear and tear, so we're doubling it over. So I'm just using tape for this, it doesn't have to be glue for that, okay? Then I would advise that you go and give these another really good squeeze. You want these as flat as possible. It will help you when you come to gluing them. Bring your other piece in, okay, and fold and burnish on those score lines. Okay, so now what we're going to do is attach this to that. So that's your front where you've just folded it over. This small flap here is going to attach here. Okay, so put some glue. I would suggest using glue rather than tape, unless you're really experienced with tape and can get it straight bang on first time. Whenever we are cutting with cardstock, there's always a margin of error, and so using glue sometimes is going to help us. So if you just fold all of that in and attach it between the two score lines as close to the edge as possible. Okay, close to the edge as possible, and with those closed, you're going to see that that's going to help you get it straight. Okay, then gently lift it open, being careful because your glue's still wet, so it could move. Okay, just check that it's all lined up. Fold it again to make sure it's straight and it's within, you know, lined up with those score lines. Now at this point, if you've got time, I would advise that you walk away and leave that to dry fully, because that then gives you a strong anchor to continue with. If it's still wet, you've got a chance that it could slip about. Okay, I ain't got time for that. Not unless you want, you know, an hour-long video. So now at this point, you want to put glue on. These flaps are all folded inward. You want to put glue on there. Okay. Take your time. I've just stuck my finger in that. Take your time, get good coverage, but you don't really want it seeping all over the place. So be careful, but you still want plenty on. Right, so just lift these side bits up. Now if you just raise that, okay, then you're starting with a flat surface if you've got a flat desk. Mine's not necessarily flat. Then just fold it in and attach that first side, okay. And then fold the second one in. You should have a flat surface if you're doing it on your desk, okay. If you've got fast drying glue, you'll need to be quick. Mine gives me plenty of room for manoeuvre. Then you want to lift the front up, okay, and line those flaps. And you're lining up the edges there, okay. So that's that one lined up. And that's that one lined up. Okay. Now at this point, while it's still wet, just be careful that you're not squishing your box. You know, you're not making it go out of shape. But just check all around that those edges are neatly lined up. Okay. Make sure you've got plenty of glue on. I could probably do with a bit more glue on that one, but I'm not going to waste time on the video messing about. Make sure that that is lovely and firmly glued there, and that all of these edges are lined up, because you're going to be layering 3 of them. You want them all as close to each other as possible. So now I'm going to lay it flat on my desk, and I'm going to go in with my bone folder and I'm going to squeeze that. Now if you're using glue, just be careful that whilst you're pressing it and squeezing it, you don't shift anything. So keep checking that it's all still lined up before your glue dries. Okay, you've got plenty of time, but give all of that a good squeeze. Look, mine's shifted ever so slightly there, so I'm just going to gently press it and gently manoeuvre it, because I want all of that, all of this bottom here needs to be lined up straight. And there, and that's how you make one. Then you go in, you make another 2 and you let them dry in between. And the middle one, obviously you're not going to need any patterned paper on the sides of the middle one, because it's going to be sandwiched between the 2 outer ones. So to cut the paper, you're only going to need 2 pieces, 1 for each end. You're going to need a piece that measures, what does this measure now? 4 3/8 by 6 7/8. That will just give you a 1/8 of an inch increment. Then I'm going to show you how to make sure that it fits that slant. Okay, so I'm going to turn it that way. Now they're going to, depending which way you do your marking, obviously it'll either go on that side or that side, so just bear it in mind. Use non-directional paper so you're not worrying about it. So what you want to do is grab your pen or pencil, and this is going to go, I'll do it this way so that it goes on this side. So from the outer edge inwards, you want to measure 7/8 of an inch. Make a mark, and then at the opposite side here, turn it on its side, you want to measure, what did I say it was, 2 3/8. Yeah, So it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the measurement of the side. Okay, then get your trimmer, join them up the same as you did with the other angular pieces. I'm even in shot. Okay, alright, and that's how you do one. Then when you want to do the other, just get your second piece of cardstock, cut to the same size and turn it around, okay, and make your marks or use scissors. Alright, just remember that one's going to be one way and one will need to be the other because they're alternative, and there, that should fit nicely on there. Okay, now don't panic if it's a tiny bit wonky or it's not quite right. As I say, there's so many margins of error, difference in thickness between paper and card. Don't worry. Alright, so then you would just layer that on there. Okay, I'm not going to, because I don't really want another one. I've already got mine. Alright, and then you attach your other two, and then you cut your other one and you attach it to the end one. Then as you can see on mine, if I can just bring it in shot, I've taken the feet off so that I can get it in shot. I have layered the insides, okay, and the back of each one, if I can just show you, with paper. Now these measure 6 7/8 by 2 3/8. Let me just double check that measurement, because I think it's, yeah, because it's each one is 7 by 2.5. So 6 7/8 by 2 3/8, and I cut mine in separate strips just to look pretty. And then across the front here, and I also lined the inside, those are the same size. And then across the front here, to give it strength and to make sure those are all together, I added another piece of paper. Now this measures, when it's complete, 7.5 by, and that should be 2.5, 7.5 by 2.5. So that wants to be 7 3/8 by 2 3/8, and that's how you do it. Absolutely easy as pie. There's nothing simpler. And then from there, it's just a case of decorating it. I've had these for years. I got them from AliExpress. You can put feet on. You cannot put feet on. If you don't have these, just cut some rectangle labels, write on what you want. Use stickers. Absolutely anything. Really useful. Like, these are cards. UK standard size cards. So your any other international size cards will fit. This is a journal insert. Okay, and then I've got my tags. There's loads of room, loads and loads and loads of room. So go and give it a try, and don't forget, if you do make one, do share it. Tag me by putting at, you know, the at symbol, and then Scrimpingmommy, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I'll see it. Okay, so there you go. Have fun, and I'll see you again soon. Don't know if we're going to have room for any more organisation. What do you think? Should we make something else? I'm a bit obsessed. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.